Hello everyone, this is Peter Svidler with my wrap-up of Game 12 of the World Championship match between Magnus Carlsen and Sergey Karjakin in New York. This was the final classical time control game of the match, and there was a great over expectation, I believe, among the chess fans. There was a rest day before the game, allowing for both players to prepare properly to the potential decider of the match. And I, for one, came out of hiding on Twitter and said that I was very excited to be covering the grand finale, the final showdown of what has been a very tense and I think very interesting in terms of intrigue and narrative match so far. And the game itself proved somewhat anticlimactic. We had about 5 minutes to discuss these things on air with Jan before the game started, and the question did come up whether Magnus would opt for a full-blooded struggle in Game 12, hoping to win the one classical game he had with White, whether he felt that his advantage with White in a single classical game against Sergey Karjakin was larger or smaller in his own estimation than his advantage over the course of a 4-game match in rapid chess. We're not really touching the 2-game micro matches that will follow if the rapid ends 2-2. Those really will be the test of nerves more than anything else. But a reasonably long 4-game match between Carlsen and Karjakin will be very exciting to watch. And we just about started discussing those two options with Jan live on air when the game started. And very, very early, the opening choices in that game, very, very early on, gave a very distinct impression that Magnus gave the matter some thought and opted for option 1, so to speak. Extreme safety today, frankly, to the elimination of any other result, and rapid playoff on Wednesday, which will coincidentally be his birthday, which arguably maybe is not in his favor, but obviously should not be a large enough factor to decide anything. The game followed Game 3 of this match for a while, and once again it was an anti-Berlin with 5 rook e1. Black continued playing along the same path as Game 3, and Magnus did not repeat his 10 rook e2 move. He played 10 rook e1, which is a lot more common and a lot more standard in that position. And they were still continuing along the main theoretical path, which I believe both of them have played on a number of occasions, when Magnus played 15 knight a3, which I think differs from 15 knight d2 in that it really ensures that every single piece comes off the board, at least so it would appear, because Magnus continued playing very, very fast, and against the most natural options Sergey could choose, which were the options Sergey chose. Magnus had a very, very clear-cut plan of how to simplify at every turn, and by move 30 there were really only bishops were left on the board in a completely symmetrical structure, and the game was agreed the moment draw could be agreed according to the rules of the match they are playing. And by now you're probably thinking, oh my god, Peter once again forgot to bring up the chessboard and he will have to re-record this video, but not really. I actually decided on this as a way to perhaps additionally express how much of a non-game this was. This is not really a criticism of the players, and the decision Magnus has taken is a perfectly legitimate one, I feel. Yes, the spectators, in particular those who showed up at the venue in New York, probably wanted something else, but he is playing for the world crown, and if he feels that taking huge risks today was not in his favor, I think he is entitled to that, and his career of playing extremely fighting chess, so in almost every single game, I think should ensure that people once the initial outrage, which I mean outrage maybe is strong, but the initial unhappiness, which I have already seen, let's say, all over the chess portion of Twitter, dies down, people will realize that with such a lot at stake, it is a decision that Magnus could have taken, and it shouldn't really be criticized all that sharply. Although, of course, all of us as chess lovers wanted to see a proper game today, and I would have been. I really was very much looking forward to commenting on a decider in a world championship match. And now that I've done this as proof of concept, I will perhaps bring up the chessboard just to briefly show you where it deviated from game 3. But really spending a lot of time on discussing the moves in this game, I think, would be doing all of us a disservice. In game 3, Magnus played rook e2 here. Today he played rook e1. This is still very, very heavily theoretical. And after knight g2 here, white even occasionally gets a little bit of something, but there can be no doubt that Sergey worked this out very carefully, because Magnus had played this line quite seriously with the intention of playing it for a win previously against very strong opposition, and there is no doubt that Sergey knew what to do here. And after knight a3, followed by knight c2 and queen d2, as mentioned, this is specifically the setup which allows black to exchange everything he wants to exchange. And yeah, in this position there's really nothing left to play for. Rooks come off as well, and yeah, players needed to wait until move 30, so they waited until move 30. But by all intents and purposes, the game was finished somewhere here. A draw agreement in this position would not have really surprised or disappointed anyone. The game is effectively over. And with this, we are now entering the final stage of the match. The match has been tied 6 points apiece. As I mentioned, it has been a very, very tense match filled with missed opportunities for both sides. Although I think Magnus will generally feel that he had more opportunities to turn the game, a number of games, and the match in general in his favor. But now we have the prospect of very, very exciting tie breaks on Wednesday to look forward to, and I hope to see all of you there, because that really does promise to be a tremendously interesting day of chess, and I believe the first time the match for the World Crown will be decided in shorter time formats. So we will be watching something quite revolutionary in a sense. Now that's actually not true, because Kramnik and Topalov played the Rapid in Alista, but yeah, that match always kind of drops out because all the things surrounding that were so weird that yeah, it didn't come to my mind immediately. But even still, this will be a very, very interesting spectacle, and yeah, I hope to see all of you on Wednesday. We will be covering the tiebreak live on air here on Chess24. Should be a very, very interesting day of chess. Thanks for watching. This has been Peter Svidler for Chess24.